community reinforcement approach we implemented in 2010 to 2013. Parenting under pressure we implemented in 2014 to ongoing. And I'll talk a little bit about both of those. So CRA, I presume everyone's familiar with CRA. I don't need to go into that in any great detail. Yeah? Okay, so look, it is an evidence-based treatment for alcohol and other drugs with simple aims to make a sober lifestyle more rewarding than one where there's use of substances. It's the positive reinforcement as the primary mechanism, and there's specific interventions within that to support people to build their motivation to change, to help clients to perhaps initiate a trial period of sobriety, and to learn new coping behaviours and involve significant others. Very, very important, the engagement of significant others, family members, in the treatment journey. We have multiple studies on CRA. I'll throw a few of those up for you if you haven't seen or you want to look at them in more detail, but it has been successfully integrated. CRA has been evidenced as being successfully integrated with a variety of other treatment services, such as family therapy, motivational interview. If I could surmise it, it's simple, it's a powerful approach to working with alcohol and other drug problems. The evidence base, Hunt and Asram back to 1973. There's a myriad of research out there, Myers, Smith, Miller, and if you want, I can happily send on some, or Liam indeed probably already has access to. But what does it mean? What is CRA in practice? What did it mean in Coolmine? Basically, it provided us with a case management framework. That's what it done. We implemented the tools as the happiness scale and the goals of counselling and function analysis for periods where there may have been lapse and relapse. It provided us with good quality assessment information. Behavioural skills training became a key component of the group programme and the one-to-one interventions with the clients engaged in our services. And we also put on and recognised as part of CRA the additional training, the jobs counselling, social recreational counselling, relationship therapy as it was required too. The implementation process was not fast by any means in an organisation that was overdue a period significant change. It took some time to get buy-in, to talk to the staff, to talk to our funders, and to talk to the service users who are trying to access our services and who are currently part of our services. We implemented that through the trans-theoretical model of change. We broke it down into 5 pieces, and we took it slowly, and we communicated a lot on the journey, particularly internal to our staff and to our clients. We've provided training supports, we provided an accreditation process, supported by, at the time, the Blanchardstown Local Drug and Alcohol Task Force, also with Shane's support and with the support of Paul Conlon. We provided dedicated roles in the organisation, and we researched. That research culminated in Coolmine's publication of our longitudinal outcomes study in 2016. We tracked 144 of our clients who entered a primary treatment service over a 2-year period. It was a qualitative and a quantitative study, so it was mixed methods in that we conducted interviews at various intersections in terms of data collection points, because we wanted to understand more than just the hard outcome of was I drug-free or not. There was a need for us to understand more and understand the process and the implication of the changes that we were making, that we could do more and understand that. What the study showed us, and these are the hard outcomes, is 72% were illicit drug-free 2 years after treatment of the 144. 98% of the clients were not engaged in any criminal activity. Client employment rose from 3% at intake to 25% at the 24-month period. Education, 2% at intake through to 17% at the 24-month period. However, and that's all very, very good, extremely encouraging, and we are very, very encouraged and proud of the results that the longitudinal outcome study has shown us, and that it validates the work that we've done and continue to do. It also showed the psychological health over the 24 months. You'll see started low, rose at the 6-month period, which would be very, very normal given that was the change in the residential treatment and the move through to the community, dipped down and then plateaued towards the end to highs of 13.18 and 12.97. Again, physical health too had the similar experience. For me and for Coolmine, it was just important to, as I say, put the measure on it. And this is a position, if I'm asking you to take away anything today, it would be that when we're talking about our service provision and the impact of them, that we look at the quality of life indicator and that we use a quality of life indicator, focusing on overall well-being and satisfaction with life. Such an holistic approach with the attention for our drug or alcohol users' own experience, and the exceptions often lacking in our research. Wouter van der Plassen in the University of Ghent would do a lot of work on quality of life, and there's a lot of current studies underway around addiction treatment, its effectiveness based on quality of life indicators. And there's the quality of life scale in the Coolmine study. Again, peaked at the residential treatment the residential treatment finish, and then dipped down, but did rise a little. What this study told us, and this is where the qualitative interviews came in, is that the women's experience of treatment in Coolmine was very different to the men's experience. In summary, the women's needs, their motivation to access treatment, their progression in treatment, their capacity to participate in the treatment program, their satisfaction with the treatment program was all very, very different, and in summary, much lower than the men's. Why? What we seen in that study was the mothers, pregnant women and the mothers who were using the services, and their experience, and there was an additional layer in terms of the needs that were presenting. And it was the shame and guilt that they were experiencing by being a substance misusing parent. They were carrying an inordinate amount of shame, guilt and stigma. So too were the fathers, but in this study it showed us specifically around the women. There were significant histories of abuse and trauma as well. And it is for those two reasons that we started on the journey then around the high risk family service, which is the women's service in Ashley House. Parents have full or some custody of their children. A unique feature about the women's service too that has evolved is that pregnant women come in to Coolmine Ashley House and they remain on their dose of methadone. OST in pregnancy protocols feature. So the overall vision for a pregnant lady coming into Coolmine is no longer about being drug-free and completing a program and graduating. It's about the safe delivery of the newborn. It's as simple as that. Safe delivery of the newborn, and then the mother being allowed after some time to make a decision about what she wants to do herself about her drug use. Maternity transfers feature. So a lady may come in the final trimester of her pregnancy and will be transferred through to the rotunda with the support of staff, delivery of baby and back in the unit within 24 hours if there's no complications into the supported environment. As I say, the dual diagnosis is very, very significant here too. That featured in the longitudinal outcome studies. The women's level of depression and stress were higher than the men. So we spoke to the HSE-CHO9 area and it was agreed that we would pilot and trial a consultant psychiatrist in this service to assess the needs of the women as they enter treatment and during their treatment period. And that has proved highly, highly beneficial, highly beneficial. We're a national-based service. We've already spoke quite a bit about the women and the needs that they were coming with, but what I will say to you is there is definitely an inability to understand their own emotional state due to their experience, and therefore to read the cues of their babies and the children and respond to those sensitively was very, very challenging. So we have an early years on-site crash. That's what it looks like. And that back in the mid-1990s up to early 2000s, mid-2000s, we thought we had this licked. We thought we just needed to introduce a measure of childcare. That would enable a family to come in, that would enable a mother and her child to come in and access treatment, and that's all we needed to do. We quite quickly realised that that was far from what we needed to do, because we needed to work with the child as well as the parent, and we needed to work with the family dyad as well. So case management evolved within the CRA approach, and individualised care plans for the children in collaboration with drug liaison midwifery and Bernardo's and public health supports that would come into the service. We still thought, right, we're doing great, we're evolving, we're addressing the presenting needs, we're doing better here, but it was just so evident that something was still missing, and it was an attachment. The women really struggled to have any, they really struggled with the everyday routines of being a parent, the everyday routines of getting the child up, getting the child to creche, packing the bag, just the everyday routines. They really struggled. When we asked them, it was because they didn't feel attached to the child. They didn't feel attached to much. They didn't feel attached to anything. They hadn't felt much attachment in their lives because their drug and alcohol use had stemmed that process.